Welcome to 5.7's Math Moment. Today students learned about the commutative and associative property of multiplication and addition, and we applied that knowledge to combining like terms with expressions and understanding expressions just a little bit more. So we included the different properties here, the two properties of addition and the two that we referred to mostly in the lesson today for multiplication, just for your reference. You won't see them referenced very much in your students' homework, but it is nice to know what those properties are, as it does help them move through some of the problems. So the first example says, simplify the expression by combining like terms. Now this is a phrase that you'll hear quite a bit when students are working with expressions and with anything that has variables. They're supposed to combine things that are similar or alike. So we don't have this long math sentence kind of like we do here. We want to kind of shorten it up and make it easier to look at and to work with. So I want to combine anything that is the same. So here I see that 5b, 2b, and then this b right by itself all seem very similar. They all are either a number with b or just b. So that's something that I would probably combine. Okay, something else I would combine, and I'm going to square this, is the 8 and the 9. Those are just regular numbers. They're not stuck to any variable. They're just by themselves. So I would like to put them together so I can make it one number instead of two. So then I need to look at what is in front of these numbers so I know whether that is plus or minus. So I have a 5b plus a 2b minus a b, which is just the same as 1b. So I'm going to do 5b plus 2b, which I would just take 5 plus 2, which is 7, and then I would just keep the b. 5 plus 2 is 7, and then it would be 7b. Then I need to minus 1b away. Okay, and I encourage students that if they're confused about the fact that that b just is for 1b, that they could put the 1 in front of the letter as well. Alright, so 7 minus 1 would be 6. So all of these b's here that I've circled, when I put them together, when I combine them, it equals just to 6b, which is a lot easier to look at than 5b plus 2b minus b. Now let's move on to my other like terms. I have an 8 and a 9. They're both plus 8 and plus 9, so I know that I can just add 8 and 9 together to get 17, and then I've taken care of both of them. So once I've combined like terms, my expression is now 6b plus 17. It's the exact same thing. This is equivalent as 5b plus 8 plus 2b plus 9 minus b. But this is, of course, much easier to look at. It's more simplified, which is what we're looking for in this problem. Example 2 says to write the term so the coefficient is in front. Coefficient is a really fancy word that just is talking about the number in an expression that is hooked onto a variable. So in this case right here, if I was just looking at 3f, 3 is a coefficient. If I was just looking at 5g, 5 would be the coefficient. So once I solve this problem and I combine like terms, I still want to make sure that my coefficient or my number is in front of my variable. Now this problem is a little different because I don't see an addition sign, a multiplication, subtraction, or division. All I see is parentheses and letters next to numbers. What that tells me is that I have 3 times f in parentheses times 5 times g in parentheses. So when I could think about that all on its own if I wanted. 3 times f times 5 times g. Okay, when I combine like terms, again, I'm going to put any numbers that are just by themselves together. So I've got 3 times 5, which is 15. And then I want to times that also by f times g, which, when I'm working with variables, I can just put numbers next to letters, and it still means multiply. And I can also put letters next to letters. In this case, f and g, that means that I'm multiplying f times g. I don't have to put all the multiplication signs in there. This means the same thing. These also mean the same thing, all of these examples, because I've just combined like terms. I've just put them together. I can't make fg any simpler because there's not any other f's, there's not any other g's, but I know that I have to multiply them together, so they just stay as 15fg. If you have any other questions about this lesson, make sure to see your math teacher.